Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky visited the port city of Odessa on Thursday. He inspected the damaged cathedral which was hit by Russian missiles last week. Zelensky also paid a visit to the medical center in the city. He awarded medals to doctors and nurses and also thanked them for their service. Russian President Vladimir Putin spoke at the Russia-Africa Summit in St. Petersburg on Thursday. Putin told African leaders that Russia was ready to replace Ukraine as the supplier for grain. He also said that Russia was willing to give free grain for at least 6 African nations. These are Burkina Faso, Zimbabwe, Mali, Somalia, Central African Republic and Eritrea. Putin added that other African customers would not have to pay delivery fees for the grain. Niger's army command is supporting the coup in the West African nation. This comes after some soldiers detained Niger President Mohamed Bazoum. Thousands of civilians are also supporting the coup. They gathered in front of the country's National Assembly and set fire to nearby vehicles and buildings. At least 6 people were killed after a bomb exploded near the Sayyida Zainab shrine near Syria's capital Damascus. Over 20 people have been injured in the blast. Security forces have sealed off the area. This is the second attack this week targeting the shrine. No outfit or group has claimed responsibility for the attack. Tens of thousands of protesters took to the streets in Israel's Tel Aviv. They demonstrated against the judicial overhaul. The protesters demanded the government to roll back the judicial reform. Remember, the first part of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's judicial overhaul was passed in the parliament on Monday. The law will prevent the Supreme Court from overruling some government decisions. Italy's Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni met US President Joe Biden in Washington on Thursday. The two leaders spoke about boosting economic and trade ties between the two countries. They also discussed the ongoing war in Ukraine. Meloni said, and I quote, "Italy will continue supporting Kiev." Former US President Donald Trump is facing new charges in the leaked documents case. US prosecutors accused another Trump employee of hiding sensitive information from officials. Last month, Trump pleaded not guilty in the case. Another Trump aide, Walt Nauta, also pleaded not guilty. At least 19 people were killed after a boat capsized near the Philippine capital on Thursday. 40 others have been rescued. Rescue operations are still underway. Officials say the boat overturned after facing strong winds. The Philippines has even deployed its armed forces to aid local officials. At least 8 people were killed after a grain silo exploded in southern Brazil. Over a dozen people were injured in the blast. One person is still missing. Officials are still investigating the cause of the explosion. Meanwhile, rescue efforts to locate the missing person are underway. A bull caused panic on the streets of a southern city in the Latin American nation of Peru. The bull charged and injured at least 5 people. The animal also caused damage to vehicles. Authorities captured the bull after a 30-minute chase. The animal was then tied to a pole to calm it down. In climate, Typhoon Doksuri hit Taiwan's Kinmen Island on Friday. It brought heavy rain and strong winds. The typhoon has toppled trees and left thousands of homes without power. Over 300 domestic and international flights were suspended. Railway services have also been halted. The storm has now made its final push to southeastern China. Wildfires continue to rage in Syria's coastal region amid high temperatures. New footage shows blazing fires in the countryside around the port city of Latakia. Reports say temperatures across the country have risen by 6 degrees Celsius higher than average. Croatia has been battling a major wildfire on the island of Chiovo. This is on the Adriatic coast. Reports say the fire had spread quickly because of strong winds. However, it has caused no damage to residential buildings so far. Authorities have deployed over 100 firefighters to fight the flames. A growing wildfire in the US state of Colorado has triggered evacuations. The US Forest Service said the fire began on Wednesday. It has now spread across 680 acres. Multiple fire crews and helicopters are now battling to douse the fire. Officials in the US Midwest are bracing for a possible wave of heat-related emergency calls. Nearly 40% of the US population is facing heat advisories. The Southwest has been particularly hot this month. Meanwhile, hot weather is expected, or rather more hot weather is expected in the Midwest and the Northeast in the coming days. On Wednesday, the National Weather Service reported a record high temperature of 48 degrees Celsius. As per the UN, July 2023 is the hottest month ever recorded. The effects of July's heatwave have been seen across the world. Thousands of tourists fled wildfires on the Greek island of Rhodes. Many more suffered baking heat across the US southeast. Meanwhile, temperatures in parts of China soared as high as 52 degrees Celsius. Meanwhile, the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has issued a warning. He said, and I quote, "The era of global boiling has arrived." Guterres said, financial steps are needed to support the accelerated climate action. He has also called for new emission reduction targets from G20 members. 2022 was the warmest year on record in the UK. This is according to Britain's Met Office. It was also the first year in which a temperature above 40 degrees Celsius was recorded in the country. Meanwhile, experts have warned the unprecedented heat is a sign of more things to come. Residents of a village in Palestine are enduring severe water shortages. The crisis has been aggravated by a recent heat wave. Residents are now looking at alternative water sources. They are either purchasing water tanks at inflated prices or constructing makeshift wells. These too are quickly drying out. Environmental campaigners in southwest Turkey protested in a forest for the fourth day. They were protesting against the felling of trees to make way for a coal mine expansion. Armored vehicles and security forces were deployed to block the protesters. Activists say the police sporadically fired tear gas and water cannon to disperse them. On to business and tech now. The European Central Bank has raised its interest rates by 25 basis points. With the latest hikes, the ECB's deposit rate now stands at 3.75%. This is the highest interest rate level seen since 2000. This means the ECB rates are at a 23-year high.
Inflation continues to decline.
Cryptocurrency exchange Binance and its CEO Changpeng Zhao have filed a motion. This is to dismiss a complaint against the company. The complaint was filed by the US Commodities Futures Trading Commission, or the CFTC. The CFTC is an independent agency of the US that regulates markets. In March, the CFTC had sued Binance, Zhao, and the firm's former chief compliance officer, Samuel Lim. The regulator had alleged that the company and its officials violated federal regulations. They were also accused of operating an illegal exchange and a sham compliance program. The US House Financial Services Committee has advanced a bill. This bill aims to establish a federal regulatory framework for stablecoins. Stablecoins are a type of cryptocurrency whose value is typically pegged to a traditional asset, often the US dollar. The bill would have the US Central Bank write requirements for issuing stablecoins. French luxury group Kering will buy a 30% stake in Italian fashion label Valentino. It will buy the stake for a whopping $1.87 billion. The company will also have the option to acquire 100% of the brand by 2028. The deal is the latest in a series of shake-ups in the French company. The move is aimed at stimulating Kering's growth as sales and its star brand Gucci stagnates. Shares of home and kitchen product maker Tupperware continued their unexplained rise on Thursday. The company's share prices rose more than 50%. This has put its stock up nearly 350% during the last 5 trading days. This is despite recent concerns about the firm's business. In April, Tupperware raised doubts about its ability to continue business amid weakening sales. Turkish food delivery startup GetHere is withdrawing from Italy, Spain and Portugal. Ultra-fast grocery delivery startups like GetHere boomed during the COVID-19 pandemic. However, they've seen a post-pandemic dip now. This is after consumers return to in-person shopping in stores. Meanwhile, the company says it will continue to operate in the US, the UK, Germany, the Netherlands and Turkey. GetHere says these geographies generate 96% of the company's total revenues. A British trade union has said workers at 2 Amazon facilities will strike in early August. This is over an ongoing pay dispute. Workers from the company's office in Rugeley will stage a walkout on the 3rd and 4th of August. Meanwhile, staff in the Coventry Centre will strike on the 4th and 5th of August. However, Amazon says that they regularly review their pay to ensure the wages are competitive. Reports say executives at Meta platforms are exploring retention strategies for users on their new platform Threads. This is after the app lost more than half of its users in the weeks following its launch. It is adopting strategies like showing important posts from Threads to Instagram users. The company is also mulling over adding new features to the app like a desktop mode and a search functionality. Women are more likely to lose jobs to artificial intelligence than men. That's according to a new report by the McKinsey Global Institute. The study found that nearly 8 in 10 women will be forced to switch companies or lose their job to AI. It added that industries that are expected to shrink the most are food services, office support, customer service and sales. Women are overrepresented in these sectors and hold more low-paying jobs than men. Therefore, they stand to be more affected. US senators will summon developers, executives and experts for hearings later this year. The US Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer said they would convene a quote-unquote the first ever AI Insight Forums. In the forum, the lawmakers aim to discuss possible legislative safeguards against the malevolent potential of artificial intelligence. In sports, in cricket, India beat the West Indies in the first one-day international match by 5 wickets. India bowled out West Indies in 23 overs and had a target of 114 runs. India has now a 1-0 lead in the 3-match ODI series against West Indies. England scored 283 runs in the first innings of the final Ashes Test series on Thursday. Harry Brook was England's top scorer with 85 runs in 91 balls, followed by the opener Ben Duckett. Australia is already leading the Test series 2-1 and has retained the Ashes. England has never lost a home series match against Australia since the year 2001. In football, the match between Argentina and South Africa in the FIFA Women's World Cup ended in a draw. Both the countries scored 2 goals against each other and secured 1 point in the tournament. Argentina will now face Sweden in the next round, while South Africa will play against Italy. Meanwhile, Nigeria stunned co-hosts Australia 3-2 at the World Cup. To qualify for the final 16, Australia must now win their next match against Canada. Nigeria will next play Ireland in their last group match. The Indian men's football team will play against Qatar and Kuwait in the second round of FIFA World Cup 2026 AFC qualifiers. The official draw ceremony took place at the AFC House in Malaysia on Thursday. A total of 36 football teams will take part in the second round of qualifiers. India, including other 26 countries, have gotten direct entries to the second round. Jordan Henderson, the former captain of the English Premier League club Liverpool, has joined the Saudi club Al Ittifaq. He will play for the Saudi club on a deal until 2026. This comes after Henderson recently posted a goodbye message on social media confirming his departure from Liverpool. The 33-year-old midfielder has captained the club for 12 years. In tennis, world number 1 Iga Świątek reached the quarterfinal in the Poland Open. She beat her US opponent 6-2, 6-2 in the women's singles category to secure the spot. Świątek will now play against the 8th-seeded Czech player Linda Noskova in her next match. World number 3, Daniil Medvedev, has withdrawn from the US Open tune-up tournament due to the injury. 27-year-old Russian player lost in the Wimbledon semi-finals earlier this month. The 2023 US Open will start from the 28th August and continue until the 10th of September. World number 4 tennis player Casper Ruud reached the quarterfinals in the German Open. He lost the first set against his Chilean opponent but trailed back 6-2 and 6-2. Ruud's quarterfinal opponent is Arthur Fils from France. Ukrainian fencer Olga Karlan was disqualified from the World Fencing Championship. She refused to shake hands with Anna Smirnova, who is from Russia, after beating her in the tournament. Smirnova was competing as a neutral athlete at the event since Russia is banned from participating at such tournaments. In the world of entertainment, the 2023 Emmy Awards have been delayed. This is due to the ongoing writers and actors strike in Hollywood. This marks the 75th anniversary of the Emmy Awards. The ceremony was slated to take place between the 9th and 10th of September. Organizers say they will have to postpone the Emmy Awards till January next year. Rapper Snoop Dogg has cancelled his show at the Hollywood Bowl in support of the writers and actors strike. He made the announcement on his Instagram. The rapper had already delayed his concert from June to October. However, with the SAG-AFTRA strike now in its 10th week, Snoop Dogg decided to completely cancel his concert. Taylor Swift is currently on her global concert spree called the Eras Tour. The tour has broken summer records and sales are nearing $1 billion. However, a recent study has shown that Taylor Swift's Eras Tour is making a mark on the US economy. Fans are spending on hotels, air travel, food and other expenses. The study says that increased consumer spending is likely to pump back $5 billion into the US economy. A woman threw her bra at rapper Drake during her New York City concert. The singer was seen sniffing the garment after it landed on the stage. Drake then said, and I quote, "Locate this woman immediately." After the incident, the woman went viral. She gained 50,000 followers on Instagram within 1 hour. She was also approached by the Playboy magazine team for a potential photo shoot. The Queen of Pop, Madonna, spoke for the first time after a medical scare. She said, and I quote, "I am able to move my body and dance. I am the luckiest star in the world." She also thanked her fans and well-wishers who wished her when she was in the hospital. Madonna said she is still recovering from a medical emergency. In June, the 64-year-old was rushed to a hospital after she was found unresponsive at her home. The museum of Madame Tussauds revealed a wax statue of popular icon Beyoncé. The wax figure shows Beyoncé's ensemble from her Coachella performance back in 2018. It took 20 wax artists and sculptors to make a statue over a period of 6 months. Beyoncé's new wax figure is now on display in New York. Singer Doja Cat is beefing with her own fans. She posted on Meta's Threads asking her fans to quit wasting their time on phones and get jobs. She even refused to say "I love you" to her fans, claiming she did not even know them. This sparked an outrage with her followers. She ended up losing over 200,000 followers on Instagram and Threads. Doja Cat is famous for her songs "Woman," "Kiss Me More" and "Say So." Actor Matt Damon revealed that he had refused to play the lead role in the blockbuster movie The Avatar. Damon also said that this cost him at least $250 million. He added that he denied the lead role since he was already shooting for a movie in the Bourne franchise. In 2009, Avatar became the highest grossing film of all time, making almost $3 billion. Drama series Suits has broken worldwide streaming records. Suits now has 3.14 billion minutes of viewership on streaming platforms Netflix and Peacock. This comes 4 years after its last episode was aired on television. Suits is an American drama series that portrays the career trajectory of a New York City law firm. Randy Meisner, the founding member of the rock band The Eagles, has died at the age of 77. The band announced the tragic news on Thursday. The singer and bass guitarist was suffering from a pulmonary disease. The Eagles gave the world of rock hit songs like Hotel California and Desperado. Meisner sang the famous songs Take It Easy and The Best of My Love.